Hey, what's going on? Well, it's True Server, and I put a video out this morning and to show people how to screen record, and the audio shut off in the middle, and I deleted it. That for it not to have audio, first of all, you're not going to be able to understand, and second of all, it sabotages what I'm trying to get across to you. So I guess we're going to do a video because, I hate to fill, well, for one, YouTube is an issue. I highly doubt I can even put a video up without them taking it down, taking my channel down, and I'm not, since I'm in Puerto Rico, it's not so easy even to have a phone, otherwise lose a channel. Obviously, it feels ridiculous doing something on BitChute because it can go down at any time, and who's there? What it is, I did see something on YouTube. They showed me subs 3 years later, right? A couple times I'd get like a handful I'd be able to see. And so that was cool. I got to see that. So why don't we go through YouTube's pathetic feed and pick out some stuff to talk about. And clearly there's tons of stuff on the winter storm. I woke up to them talking about evacuating Meshuggah due to seeing cloned bomb clones. CY, which to me is 3-7 in Pythagorean for your 3-7's hoax code. It's all hoaxes, and that's why it's on your feed. And where I'm at, I'm in a beautiful city, and I'm trying to somewhat fit in, and that is not an easy task. Because I have kids who I'm trying to teach, which is something unheard of nowadays. B, because I'm a smoker, so I'm gonna go for quitting. You think I realized when someone who's known me, or I thought liked me for years, find out they think I'm the devil because I smoke, then what are strangers going to think? Correct? I don't obviously agree with that. I'm not saying smoking's a good thing, but I kind of understand in a sense, because whenever I quit, I'm kind of like a hypocrite, right? I don't like this. I don't like the smell. I don't like the smoke. But mainly, I stayed away from it because if I was near it, I'd want to do it. But I think it's completely illogical to compare a smoker to a freaking devil. Okay, you got to be out of your freaking mind. But that's my opinion. What I was trying to get to you, which who knows if it's even going to be, if you can even hear me. The new thing it says to me is that it can't do my audio because it's already doing audio on some other app. Well, hello, that's the whole point of the screen record. So it doesn't make any sense. It's just the second the analog is on to you, you have to do something else, or if you can't say it. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast, they've been pushing on TV, and if you just need to hear it, because I really feel like that's what it's about. People need to hear it, and then they're able to ingest it. Sometimes seeing it just isn't enough. The fact that it's a girl who's in love with a beast, that's called bestiality. And of course, at the end, the beast turns into a nice person. And the parables go on and on. You shouldn't feel too bad about it because we've all fell for it. At least I did. I hit the Beauty and the Beast comforter. But at some point, we need to grow up. Or don't. At the end of the day, people that disagree with you and are enwrapped in Hollywood and the government and the elite and the fame and the fortune will leave you for dead. They will leave you for dead for what you believe. I'm sure you're aware of it. Try telling a grown-ass man that some tranny on TV is a man. And A, you will be accused of being jealous. B, you won't ever be welcome around their presence again. Okay? We are slowly but surely being pushed aside. And no one's going to bat an eye and no one's going to care, no matter how much they've known you. There's so many stories that I've been wanting to share, and telling my children is like talking to a wall, just another brick in the freaking wall. They're too young to even know what I'm talking about, but there's a person, and another person was saying, person B said how person A, they were told this person was a Jew. They acted like a Jew, and I tried explaining to them that to person B, that person A, that a lot of people are like that, especially in the States. That if this is the first time they've come across someone who acts like they're poor when they have tons of money, they've been pretty lucky. That's a real common trait. And you need to remember, stepping out of the box is not easy, but you have to remember, what is the point of being alive? For me, at this point, it has been about building a relationship with my children. I switched up everything to do that, and it is by far the hardest job that's ever existed. No one can do it. No one can reach their kids, and that people have we've had. We didn't just get here, but from what I've been told, people that have fought wars, people that have been through, abusive relationships, raising kids, especially homeschooling them, is almost impossible. But again, what are we here to do? I want to work on my relationship with my kids. I want to protect them. And to me, that is a lofty goal to do while I'm being alive. My goal to hold on to my people so that we can have an afterlife together is also fleeting. And, at what costs? Now, yeah, this is tough. I mean, it's all over the map. I tried giving you an hour when we were taking a break on the beach. As you know, I'm not one to take much of a break. And that video, the audio was completely gone. And for me, talking for an hour and losing it, it gets tougher. It wears on you. As I've said before, and I just said this morning, I've lost thousands of hours, thousands of videos. And it's nothing. It has meant nothing to anyone except, the Bitter Truth family. And just because we identify as the Bitter Truth family doesn't mean we all get along. We're still all out here on our own. And, we could, like Mag was saying on his podcast today, that at the end of the day, we're left for dead without nothing, no money, no home, no job, no family, all simply because we put our asses on the line to try to help. Okay, it was entrapment from the beginning. Any social media avenue you've taken has been a trap, and it's just so. Yeah, I did set up a Cash App and subscribing for my podcast. I would like to start doing podcasts. My concern is I'm about the, who am I talking to here? Now, is it 400 bots, or 200 bots, 600, 6,000? Who knows? You figure every time a channel goes down, it's the same people. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong even if it's one, but I don't have one. I really feel like that. I feel like I've done a lot of freaking work and it's fallen on deaf ears. For the most part, you get the same petty attitudes. In the beginning, I figured, well, I love mag, so I wanted to meet people that also loved mag. But you try telling someone else who loves mag, and you see, they're probably ready to rip my freaking head off. How dare I even mention his name in the same sentence as my own? Okay? So, there's my little intro. I am wishing everyone the best. I'm concerned about what's going on in the States. The weather here is just gorgeous. It's so much like New York. It's so much like Israel. It's, as far as the pricing goes and the way the people are, being such a small space. Also, I had a very shocking experience when we were at the beach, and so much that I don't even feel really comfortable speaking about it. What I got out of it was a gag order. It was too relevant. It was too on point, and it was scary. Okay, I'm not mag. I'm not a man. I don't have balls. But for some reason, the powers that be, and of course they're puppets, it's like, at the end of the day, it's never okay for us to speak our mind. Because we bash them in 20,000 different pieces. And their revenge is always physical harm. Okay? It's threats to shut us up. It's taking down our material. It's making every day as miserable as they possibly can. I totally agree, again, with what Mag was saying. It resonates very deep. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. It's just, for the most part, my belief is not so much that the people are dumb. Because I've always been a people person, and I have always talked. And I find that majority of people always agree. But at the end of the day, they're thinking, well, what am I going to do about it? I'm trying to keep my family together. And just because they agree, what are they still going to be in the same predicament? And I don't even know if it's safe to say that Mag woke us up, because at the end of the day, we are like him. When I first heard him speak, I needed to find him because I wanted to continue to hear someone who felt the way I did. Yes, of course, he's been able to teach us. But what is teaching? Teaching is remembering. Okay? There's something that they did to the human brain where it needs to hear it to move forward. yes, you can put pieces together. That's how I do things. I would say, I can say I never miss simply by deduction, because if you go through everything, and yes, I understand. My mouth is very close to the speaker, and if I move it away, then you may have to play with the volume a little bit. Okay, we're not here to compete against Hollywood's fake people who read scripts and they have their editing and their green screens and their, they're biters. They take our stuff, they put it out, and then they'll let us put it out after, or they just stuff us in some box and take all the credit. And no, it's not that we're here only to get credit, but come on, people. Who's for slavery? Okay, since when are we supposed to do a bunch of work and get nothing in return? Okay, and it was supposed to be a job. It was supposed to be the president. It was supposed to be, right, our avenue was supposed to be government, or it was supposed to be Hollywood. But who wants to be a part of a child molestation, pedophilia ring? No one. So, again, I find it infuriating on many levels because social media and the internet, and they have been stuffing down our people's throat porn. Okay, it's like the elephant in the room that no one ever mentions. Okay, it's perverted, delinquent material that they've stuffed our men with so they're gay. And the women follow along. Oh, she's hot. And they follow along simply to hold on to their man. And at the end of the day, you're never going to be young enough or the right sex for them. Right? I don't know. I don't know what to say. You could have a best friend in the world, and simply because you're not giving it up or you don't want to kill babies, you're pretty much a leper in their eyes as well. I guess I'm doing okay. I'm trying to make sense of it, and I'm looking at my material. I'm looking at those hundreds of videos on bitch shit that are left, the thousands of videos that are gone, and I can continue, but it's like, if people, they didn't get it, then they're still not going to get it. And if they're around because they get it, then in other words, we're doing the videos for each other. And I'm okay with that as well. But, make no mistake, we are all hurting. And we need to figure out a way to help each other. And I don't know. I feel like I think people are, they're dying. They're dying to see us fail. I think it's just easier. It's hard for people to see someone who's different. And it's just easier to get rid of them. Okay? It's just, anyway, I really think it's important to put the anger where it should be. The person who does the brainwashing, the people that have been controlling us and lying to us. I also think, we keep the focus on the ones that are doing the harm. And then on top of it, I think it's also very important that we move forward. Life is short, it's fragile, and we want answers. And no one's going to give them to us. We either figure it out or we don't. I'm okay with the theories. And then, unfortunately, at the end of the day, majority of the time, they're not just theories. Especially with man, right? For us, we push the limit and we roll the dice on it, and let the pieces fall how they may. I feel like when they pull my video, when they don't let me speak, it's like they've conceded. They lost. Okay, when they start messing with regular freaking people, it's a bust. So I personally have been dealing with this as long as I started putting out Mag's work. I was already putting work out on Flat Earth. So no one had a problem, with me supporting, Light Key or Attila the Attilian. Anyway, there's these puppets, their actors play many different roles. And then because it's like digital, and it could all be cartoon, we're talking auto-tunes. So they recycle the voices, they recycle the faces, they recycle the eyes. And of course, they let me keep only the videos up, probably where I made a mistake. Just kidding. So, how's everyone doing? You can say, okay, well, you're just creating problems that you don't have. I'm just trying to, other people are freezing to death, right? They have no home. But how further away are the regular people from that? Okay, they're very, very close. Look at that, 20 minutes, we haven't even begun. Okay, story. Do we really need to do a video on a picture? If they're giving you a picture, it's almost like they're telling you, look, it's fake. And then, of course, no one was ever alive to tell them any different. Okay, so if you can... I'm not really... Again, I get confused on who the audience really is. So when I look at this, I start with a premise, as if it's being put there as an agenda. It's not being put out there by real people. These are things that I believe deeply. And, anyone who I, meet or thinks differently, it's okay. But it's not gonna change my opinion on it. I already know the truth because I've been doing the videos. And there's no way they would ever put us on the feed. This feed is for them. They know people were getting tired of the TV, and it was going to social media. So even if you think, oh, well, this person's a truther, and I know they're from the government or they're from Hollywood, but I enjoy listening to them because that's all I can get. Well, then that is all you will get. No, seriously. And, they may tell you one thing that resonates with you, and you'll say, oh, well, I heard Mag say that. But everything else they tell you is going to be either some agenda. And the agendas are very clear. Anything that goes against our Creator. Period. It could be, whether it's sodomy, pedophilia, bestiality, all those things that you're not allowed to speak about, correct? And then for some reason, even though it's 90%, at least 90% porn, right, that they're trying to put on the news, in your face all the time, people are still in denial about the rest, as if it's it's just legitimate, innocent, growth. Gay marriage. They've been pushing that for decades. But again, two grown men with no mother and a baby. Do you trust grown men with babies that aren't theirs? You can't take the exceptional, there's always an exception to the rule. You can't take the exception and make a generic blanket protection for all the sodomites. what you're doing is allowing them to abuse children. Not only abuse them, but glorify it, glamorize it, show your kids it, let them partake in it, talk like that, act like that, and what's the word? Coddle it and raise it. So, I just, anyway, again, let's stay a little focused here. The winter storm. It doesn't matter how bad that storm gets in, let's just take, for example, Meshuggah land. Okay? It could be -30 and the people will still say, that's okay, I got my power. Oh, well, it wasn't as bad as they said it was. It's only 0. It's going to be 30 tomorrow. There's always an excuse. They'll do anything to protect the other side. I believe it's because, I don't think people are as dumb as they play. Okay? I think they're doing it at this point to work on their social credit. I think they're up on the fact, whether subconsciously or consciously, that what they say affects their bank account, their car, their phone, their family. Okay, and I see that playing a big role in the way people act. Do I think they admit to it? No. I think majority of them, you can call them dumb, but it's more about like superstition. Okay? They say something and they get a certain reaction. Maybe every time they yell at the tool, it starts working again. Okay? And I'm not a conspiracist. I'm a truther. I think it's something, when I look for reasons, it's not like, so in other words, I don't think it's like a gang stalking thing. Again, it's an analog. It's a program. It's a system set up for you in particular. Okay? How? Your phone. That's how. Your home. You have, it doesn't take any energy of an agent or to do that. I beg of you to, if you're interested in this information or you question it and you say, well, Lana, you need to give me all the facts. Give me a link. No, you want a link? You need to go through the videos. Like the videos on China. Okay? Where you have the officer who will show you, and then you could say, well, if your proof is their videos and you don't believe in their videos, then how is that proof? Well, that's a circular argument. And I figure it like this, if you formulate opinion and then you go to the facts and that's what the official story is, then all I need to do is give you the official story and say, well, there it is. Okay, now you may say, well, I don't believe in the official story, and I would say, well, right on. But then I would say, what do you believe in? And go from there. But when I think about doing a video, it's about majority of people believe the official story. So if I can bring them the official story, then then it's okay, right? As long as the gatekeepers have opened the door, then it's okay for someone like me, little old me, to say it, right? And of course, as long as they're quote unquote censoring big macho Hollywood people, then of course it's okay for them to censor little old me. Okay? Okay, so I'll just finish that for a second. The Chinese video where they'll tell you straight out that the analog is able to flag any inappropriate talk or possible crime, and it's able to stop it within its track. That she said she had been in charge of, it was like a city of over 1 million people, just her and the computers, and that she never had to get involved. All they need to do is send a alert to their phone that says, it could be, okay, now we're going into another video, another Chinese video, because of course they always have to put it somewhere else, the blame. Okay, and so you can say, oh, well, that's not happening in my town because it only happens in China. But no offense, but that in itself is completely inhumane. So what you're saying is it's okay for those people over there to suffer because they're not where you live. What you're really saying is you don't care who dies so long as it's not you. I thought that we were all on the same page, that, I thought it was about people are supposed to die who are justified to die. But in this new world, and obviously before as well, the truth is that the people that really do deserve to die, if you say that those people are supposed to die, you have a death wish on your ass. Then it would be considered either a hate crime or discrimination. They've completely covered their ass, where it is not okay for people that have killed other people or who have hurt other people physically, and I'm not talking about your ego. Those people are allowed to get away with it, and we are not allowed to tell them that they can't. Correct? But innocent old mass people that are just hanging out, living their life, right? Little old slaves like us, those people, you can have no problem with them dying, right? Like if they're Russian, that's okay. Or they're Arab, they're okay to die, right? Certain people are the Chinese. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make... I'm sure it does make sense. Here we are. So you look at these, the thumbnails, and you say, is that real? And then you go to the video and you see how it's somewhat real, but they've tweaked it. Okay, here, just like this. Okay. Boozy badass. Who wants to watch some creep with his tongue out? Okay? Am I going to barf? Twitching. And that is cool. It's now cool to stick your tongue out and twitch. They not only are committing the people, all they need to do is pull that rug out from under you, and you're standing there and you're a complete retard. And all they need to do is come pick your ass up. That's what I see. Oh, and what's the new thing? Okay, so it's just spilling over. So the TV's like talking about food, right? Everyone's starving here in UK nonetheless. So it's okay for them to starve in other parts of the world, but in UK, oh my God, oh my goodness, it's gone. UK, they're starving too. They can't feed their kids. Okay, no offense, if you can't feed your kids, then you don't get to keep your kids. Okay, that's called entrapment. Okay? Everything they give you is entrapment. You do not have a right to speak. You definitely don't have a right to have a gun. Don't think you do. Give me a break. Okay, here. Family Guy. Family Guy. Why do I need to watch 4 hours of pedophilia and bestiality? Why isn't it okay for me to call it for what it is? You're going to tell me there's not a baby in there who's having sex and a dog that's not having sex, and of course with the adults and the kids. What person wants to see their man dressed as a woman, bent over? Okay, it just to remind. I really, again, with the audience, I really feel like it's mainly bots. gross, gross, and extra gross. The whole dynamic between a man and a woman, it fits together like a hand and a glove, okay? And in a woman's eyes who has babies, the man is the protector, okay? Security, okay? Makes us feel safe. And of course, how would a woman feel safe with a man who's bent over, who wants to take it up the ass or wants to give it to you up the ass? Where and in what world? And why would a woman want to be compared to a man on TV? I truly believe this, and we know it's true. And you know, people just have to accept, that if you're with someone, or if someone's telling you, you tell them, oh, that person, that's a man dressed as a woman, and if he hates you for saying that, I don't. There's no way the relationship's going to work. You need to move on. There's no way around it. There's going to be other men who will be not offended by that. They will, listen to you. They will understand you. They will try to protect you, make you feel safe from that type of delinquency. And not only do they have the Family Guy with his ass in the air, they have his friends also, and they have USA on their butt. When you point out the signs and symbols, it never ends. Okay, you need to look no further than what they give you, and it's on every screenshot. Stop, zoom, and pause will always be the key to seeing it. However, going into metaverse and going into this virtual reality that we're about to delve into, it's already past all this. So if the TV if the screen releases to you that it's all a cartoon, or that everything that we have said is true, they don't care anymore. Okay? To them, metaverse is exciting because now they can take all their disgusting fantasies and run with them. They have a place where they can practice murder and abuse and every other disgusting thing, and with you at the center of it. Okay? They used to give that scenario to us about the pedophiles. Is it okay if we give them, they didn't say virtual reality, it was a doll, right? They wanted to give them a baby doll and said, well, will that curb them? No, it's not. It's not going to curb them at all. They're already like that. And they're not going to tell you they're like that. They're going to lie to you, or else they won't be able to get away with it. All right. And all those people sitting there who say, oh, you have some nerve to go out there and talk. Make no mistake, every word you say is being recorded and used against you at all times. So, And it's interesting because I think at the end of the day, people know that, right? So you got those people that just sit there and they're looking at stuff is just so nasty, and they know that, if it's all released, right? Not that, like China or something like that, right? If they do that to us here and they tell us, okay, listen, we're going to release everything you've ever watched, everything you ever said, right? Because that is part of the script. You wonder if at that point people say, oh, maybe I should have, said how I really felt. Because remember, the analog is there to play God as well. It's there to play the creator. So that thing about belief can cure, belief can kill, can very well fit. I So I get torn between breaking down these videos and moving forward, right? Look at this. Just sickening. Frozen to death. Look at this. It's all frozen. And the thing that really gets me is after an incident like this, or while they're sitting there in that home, how many of the people would think about moving, right? It's one thing to say, well, I can't move, I can't afford to move, or I don't have anywhere I can go, but then at the same time, you could say that anywhere, right? But majority of people will just, they're going to rationalize it. See, and to me, I think that's a mind. I think there's a disconnect there. I figure you have a better chance of survival and a good life where people are not freezing to death and they're not starving to death, okay? But I don't see any way around that. Farrakhan. Whitest states. Let me guess, they're talking about the color of your skin. It's very rude. A storm caused mass power. Christmas is so short. I do feel bad about that. It's just not long enough. I personally never really had a problem with the whole Christmas thing because I liked seeing people happy. I liked to see them gathering. Yeah, it's sad. It's once a year. But in these times, and in all times, that was always a good thing to see. Yeah, I'm sure it has always infuriated me. The news, right? And most people, I think, for sure, feel the same way. And that's where they say, oh, well, maybe I should go into politics, right? If you could find a way where it doesn't make you so angry. As a wise man said, don't trust a clown. They will always let you down. 349,000 views. China grappling with a new wave of COVID. You turn off, if you turn off social media for a week, you could have missed everything. Okay, I presume that we are in the end of times. They are doing the tribulation script, the revelations. I also presume that nothing is new under the dome, including the tech, including everything. I feel like that, yes, I would say it is more than likely the truth that they do reset every 2,000 years, clearly because our calendar is on 2,000, and that I also presume it's been that people have been here, I'd say about 6,000 years, because that is in their script as well, and millions of years. Meg is correct. Where would the garbage, where is it? There's no proof of that. There's hardly any people, and they never stop lying. And because they've lied to us about these things, it makes it obvious that we are on to something with the truth. Yes, I am going to divert over and over and over if I don't have notes with me. I don't have a problem staying on subject for you if that's what I'm going to do. But from what I can tell, these videos have been for no more than me and our little choir here, which means I can go anywhere on that map I want. There are sensors all over probably on every barcode. They've admitted, confessed there being hundreds surrounding you in your home. We don't need the screen for them to continue to receive our information. They can clearly be in the room as well. Obviously virtually. I'm not saying like physically. Virtually. Okay? Virtually be able to put together the room, be in there, and push your buttons. Chip on your shoulder, push your buttons like, I would say, just like before, like with the nanites, right? It may not be running through your bloodstream, but yeah, I'm sure they've been putting them in our food and so forth. Biological warfare, okay? Can you say what you want and do what you want without being attacked from the inside out? The person who scared the shit out of me, which I would call a gag order, was saying things very close to me and my children in the middle of the night, and at the same time, like, it was going on for hours, people. The same time, he like would switch and he was like in pain. I thought he was like hurting someone, and then after like a few hours I realized he was just some like nutbag, I guess you would say, quote unquote nutbag, who was like in pain. Like he kept screaming out like he was in pain, and I'm thinking, okay, so what? If he's, what is he being controlled? What he can say, not say? Who knows? Who knows? But it was really too close for comfort as far as I could tell. You know what I'm saying? This is one thing. This is my channels. This is my voice. And last time I checked, we're supposed to be in our homes with some privacy, not being recorded on every word we say, and being judged. Clearly, if we're being judged, and a whitelist is the blacklist. In other words, the nicer a person you are, the better person you are, then the worse they look in your eyes. Or, like the Bible says, only they get to partake in the evil acts. And if you're a low-life, regular chosen person like myself, just one of the masses, then you are not allowed to partake in those evil acts. Correct? Isn't that what the Bible says? Okay. Anyway, let's look at this. What's this? China. So now they're showing us that the Chinese are no better. Look at this. That's not the right size. Okay, that's like, they always, they get their proportions off. I guess, that's the benefit of a 98th percentile in space relations. Okay, where the canteen of water is bigger than the bed, the blanket's bigger than the, do you see what I'm saying? The proportions are not correct. Okay, it's like a dollhouse. And this is what they're showing you. To me, it's blatant threats. Here, you're numbered, here you go, 161, and you will get a cot. You know what I'm saying? It's worse than the jail cell, correct? Here's one big stadium full of beds, and you're supposed to be thankful and happy for just that. Again, what are we here to do? So I think that there are a lot of trannies as well walking around. And just because they're a tranny does not mean that they're ugly. There's some very, what I would call good-looking women that may not be a woman. Now, to me, it's different, okay? Real life versus TV. On TV, I think it's different. Those are complete fakers, and they're setting examples for our kids and for us, and they're not being honest of who they are. But the law is very clear. They don't need to say that they're a man. They identify as a woman. They are protected as a woman, and that ship has sailed. Whoo, long time ago, correct? And now they're going to put the blame on the virus is it can't be contained, and the vaccine on China. Back to, remember, Biden's signing that thing about not discriminating against Chinese, and we were like, what are they talking about, right? And they're showing someone being beat up on the street, Chinese. Since when do people not like Asians? Does it make sense? Well, it's on the way. And we should have a little more confidence when we speak about this stuff. Okay? And I'm sorry if the language, if the puns and the metaphors, I don't have much other tools to talk to you with. It's the English language. I try to keep some words out, like come, as much as I can. But some things like can is also used for quite a few different things, like consideration, for offer and acceptance. It's a way of being considerate. There's ways, to try to express ourselves. It's not easy. Here we go. What are these bears? Are these bears in the street? Are polar bears? Hold on. Are they migrating from Antarctica? Here we go. Protect our children. Okay? It's a mockery. They're giving you the one eye. These people are the ones hurting the kids. Okay? And if you follow them and you're joining in and you protect them and you go work for them, well, then you're just doing their work for them. And yes, order out of chaos is alive and well, and the chaos is very deep, and yes, we are thankful when the order is brought because the chaos has gotten out of control. I'm not saying it's right, but it makes sense of why people make the choices they make. Correct? Okay, here's the polar vortex and blizzards. If you don't need to look between the lines, they show you in front of your face. There's the one-eye swirl. Okay, it's a one eye. It's for them. It's Freemason signs and symbols all day, all night, every single scene shot on the screen that they give you. They can't leave it out. The arrow for the pyramid, the other pyramid, that is important to them because our system is built where they are at the top. Again, Freemasonry, the highest level, where they keep their scapegoats as well. At least in numbers. S for the serpent as well. Why? Because it looks like a snake. It's right there in your face. The Freemason signs and symbols, there's not that many of them, and they never leave them out. Never. The sun ray, they worship the sun. You know that from their religion, and it's both. Okay, we have the sun, S-U-N, and you have S-O-N. When things are spelled differently, it still entails the same stuff. And if we were up on this from day one, then when we spoke, it would be this continuous parable where every time you say something, it would have two meanings at the same time, almost like poetic, okay, but creepy. Okay, they're always doing damage control, always doing controlled opposition. You cannot underestimate the power of the computer, of the analog. I remember Mag saying how, of course, the bot, the fake person on screen, the avatar, call it cartoon, call it digital, 100% digital, whatever, is going to be smarter than you. It could be you, your mom, the president, and the genius, all combined into one person. Of how would that person, that computer analog, not be smarter than you? We've spoken about this as well, about how the analog, how it's the cloud, or the phone, the data, however you want to say it. There's many different things to say the same thing, how it collects all that information. And we don't remember, still can't remember our beginning years of life. But the analog, it does. It already knows what you're going to say. At the very least, it can predict what you're going to say. It can predict your next move before you may even have it. And I believe that. I truly believe that as well. Here. Psychopaths, sociopaths, narcissists, and dark empaths. Okay, to the regular person who is not one of those four things, all those are the same. They're all a bad person who you want nothing to do with. And they don't tell you that if you treat someone like that as any of those things, they'll never speak to you again. You'll never go back to that job. And the only people who can get away with doing that is someone who is protected under the law. Okay? Whether it's someone protected in your home or on TV, or someone who you meet. Okay? But, if you just meet, you can just walk away. Okay? For example, if you have kids with someone who's a sociopath, a psychopath, a narcissist, or dark, those are hard things to prove. And everyone knows it's a last resort. Okay, so I'd imagine, for example, if you click on something like this, you either are dealing with it or you identify with it. And either way, it's an entrapment. And then you got a million people right there. Snow apocalypse. No. Migrants off New York. Okay, so what are we on? It's been an hour, people. And I have barely touched the surface. We didn't even go into a video. I just rehashed quickly, swiftly, musical notes to our ears, and scraping on chalkboards for others. And at the end of the day, see, this is the thing you don't understand. Or maybe you do. I understand it now, being $500,000 in debt. You don't make money because of a job. Even if you can, okay? Even if you're not a loser and you beat the Ponzi scheme and you're able to get any job because you're smart and you're hot, okay? Even if all that, you still cannot make a penny unless you're willing to take from someone who has less than you and you are willing to lie to them. At the very least, not tell them the whole story. Your prime example are your doctors and your lawyers, your anyone who's making money. And that's why I stuck with the food stuff, okay? The food serving. I felt comfortable. in that field because I was able to give and to receive. Okay? But that's what I wanted to say about that as well. Star Trek. Star Trek. Okay, so we're at an hour. I don't know what to say. I am not going to be able to give you videos without a phone and a home. And, you know, I guess everyone has different limits on what that means. To me, if I end up back in Texas, I failed. And someone else can look at that and say, oh, well, you're a yuppie because you still have a place to go. Yeah, thanks. I'm trying to sell it, and of course my crazy neighbors with their freaking dogs all over the place are going to be a huge issue. And if I go back there, I am going to be very upset at those dogs. No, the first thing I'll do is I'll put a fence up. Because, you know, at the end of the day, no one's going to buy that place unless they have a fence, I guess. And it's going to have to be, you know, someone who's familiar with the area. Or someone like us who really didn't have a choice, right? Anyway, that's what I have to say about that. And again, I don't think there is any demand for these videos. Originally, I thought there was. And then I realized, you know, at the most I could hope is that maybe I would have Mag, you know, who would be there for me. I thought maybe Mag's people. You know, Mag's people, we have a good base. We have a lot in common, right? We're not, you know, we're not pedophiles. We're not, you know, we have a standard of what we uphold, and it's Mag's standard. But majority of Mag people do not go through Mag's stuff. Now, I took it all, condensed it, because I was dying to have us all on the same page. You know, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't matter. And even if we are, it doesn't mean we're all going to like each other. Again, men and women are divided big time, especially women and women. I don't think no. At the end of the day, no, I don't think so. They will all, not Mag women, women in my life, they will leave me for dead simply to keep me away from their man. They must think I'm a big freaking slut. Who knows? Or maybe they're up on their man being a slut. Who knows? Who cares? At the end of the day, people will kill you. They don't care. Only the innocent are allowed to be killed. You're only allowed to throw innocent people under the bus. If you try throwing an actual evil person or a nasty person under the bus, you may not survive the day. So, I gather the few of us that do have a voice on this social media only simply exist out of research and development as a specific group. Mainly, not for us at all, but simply for their agents and their puppets who are too stupid to formulate a sentence, who must mandatorily watch our stuff so they have some material. The analog, the people on TV, the inhumane characters, digital or not, or the one behind, you know, pulling the strings, need our stuff because they cannot relate to regular people. They don't care about regular people. They don't know how to talk like a regular person. They don't care about anyone. That is why it is so important to keep us going. It is also very important to keep us going. They say it's because they like to recruit their enemy. No, I don't think so, people. They leave us out here mainly to simmer in our own crap, okay? And so we could be stirred around. They need to know. They need to, yes. They need to be aware what people that are, you know, not, fully awake, but who are at least on the path of, trying to find truth, who don't trust what they say, how they feel, what they think. They need this for their research and development. They need this for the next reset. They may not need it for 2,000 years. Okay, and I hate to say it, but if nothing's changed and they're doing another reset, then at the end of the fucking day, the freaking, incubating box people are us. Do you understand what I'm saying? That we may think we're, is natural. We are the most natural ones here. But that's because we woke up from our slumber. It's because we chose not to stay in fantasy land. But if it's a reset, just looking at my teeth before they all are gone. If it's a reset and it's the third reset, which makes logical sense being year 2000, then the same thing happened 2,000 years ago. So they incubated, put them out, and then they let them, cycle in, have their periods, have babies. So I don't think we should be acting like it's so foreign to us. Why? You say, why would they do this? Because they want to ensure that they stay in power. They won't ever lose power down here. They are more scared of us than we are of them. Because at the end of the day, we have nothing. They have everything and everything to lose in their eyes because they live for vanity. They don't want to die. They stay alive as long as they can off of our blood. And if this would ensure their survival, to see how their creation continues to prosper and who can actually step out of it, and why they're able to look at our lives and say, what makes that person different than the other? And they're able to do it differently the next time. Again, I hate to repeat myself, but you have to remember, in a pyramid, no one in Freemasonry, they don't hide their stuff. Remember, it's only they only take an oath not to tell us. They don't take an oath, they don't care if we figure anything out. No one on that pyramid is privy to the truth. So remember, even the 32-degree Freemasonries aren't privy to anything above that level. And that level is no more than what they're giving the people on books. So I'm in the process of quitting smoking. I didn't throw it out. I just didn't buy, anymore. And my mouth is slowly, clean, detoxify, or, it's, it's gross. I hate it. I understand being a hypocrite. But, anyway, so I wanted to mention that as well. So we are at 1 hour and 9 minutes. Again, don't think any of us are doing, I'm not sure, but I can tell you one thing. I haven't gotten anything, not a freaking penny from anyone. Okay, and then in my life, I'm not going to hold my breath, because I'll tell you what, in my life as well, I've been cleaned out completely. Okay, apparently my kindness over the years and keeping people afloat and serving them since day one has been taken as a sign of weakness. Anyway, not anyway. I'm going to get going, and I'm going to wait until there's some type of demand to I'm trying. Oh, look at this. It's just going to start to boldly go.